Okay, so today we're diving into something that seems to be everywhere these days, Python, for data analysis, for better insights and all that.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to know how to use it.
Yeah, it's definitely a hot topic. And for good reason. I mean, think about it. Everyone says data is the new gold, right? Well, Python, that's your tool to mine it.
I like that analogy.
Yeah.
But isn't it more than just crunching numbers?
Exactly. That's the thing about Python. It helps you find the why, the story behind all that data. You know what I mean? Makes it actually meaningful. Like, take a giant spreadsheet of customer data.
Oh, I know those spreadsheets well.
Python can dig through all of that for you, find maybe connections, trends. That would take, honestly, forever to find manually.
So it's like having a detective's magnifying glass, but for data. I like it.
Mm, exactly. One thing people might want to know is, let's say you can find those trends. What are you actually finding? What does that look like?
I was just about to ask that. What kind of insights are we talking about? Give me an example.
Okay, so let's stick with that customer data example. Python could help you uncover something like which product combinations actually lead to the highest customer lifetime value.
Now that's an insight that's worth its weight in gold. But let's be real for a second. What about those of us who weren't exactly coding whizzes? Can we really use Python to unlock these insights?
That's the beauty of Python. It's actually known for being beginner-friendly. The syntax is super user-friendly. That means the language itself is designed to be readable. Even intuitive, you could say.
Okay, so it's not as scary as it sounds. But what about all the actual code you need to write? That's what always intimidates me.
So Python has these things called libraries. They're like pre-built toolboxes full of code. So you don't have to build everything from scratch.
So I can just use these libraries. That does sound easier.
Yeah. Think of it like putting together a puzzle. You have all these pieces. You don't have to cut them out yourself. You just got to figure out how they fit together, right?
Okay, I'm following you. So give me an example of a library I might use.
Sure. There's one called Pandas. Super popular. It's fantastic for wrangling your data, cleaning it up, organizing it, getting it ready for analysis. The not so fun but essential stuff.
Pandas for wrangling. Got it.
Hmm.
Okay, so say I've used Pandas to get my data all nice and organized.
Mm.
What's next? How do I actually analyze it? I want to find those hidden gems.
All right, so then you'd probably bring in another library. Some popular choices are Matplotlib or Seaborn. They're great for visualizations.
Visualizations, you mean like?
Yeah, charts, graphs, heat maps, stuff like that. They just make those data insights jump right off the screen. Way easier to understand than just staring at rows and columns of numbers.
Okay, this is starting to sound less like coding and more like a treasure hunt, which I can get behind.
That's a good way to put it. It can be exciting.
So for someone just starting out, what's the best way to actually approach learning Python for data analysis? Where do I even begin?
Well, remember, it's a journey, not a race. Don't get overwhelmed. I'd say a good roadmap. Start with the basics, get comfortable with Python syntax. That's your foundation. Then dive into pandas, master that, then move on to the visualization tools.
And I imagine, just like anything else, practice makes perfect, right?
Absolutely. You got to apply what you learn to make it really stick.
Any tips on finding data sets to play around with?
Oh, tons. Honestly, there are so many public data sets available online. Everything from like sports statistics to weather patterns. Google is your friend.
Great point. So if someone's listening and they're interested in trying out Python for themselves, where should they look for data? What would you recommend?
I always say the best data to start with is stuff you're already curious about. Could be sales figures from your work, data about a hobby you're passionate about, whatever gets you excited to analyze.
That's great advice. Well, there you have it. Python for data analysis. Your ticket to uncovering hidden insights no matter what your coding level is.
And have fun with it.
Exactly. Now go forth and analyze.